Hey guys, it's Evan. It's been a while. I'm gonna take a quick ride with my F80 M3 to get some lunch. It's actually March 1st. It's been a while since I've done a point of view in my car. All I want to do today is first off, I found a nice spot and look what's right there in the driveway, so I figure I stop here. And you know, let's talk M2. So we're gonna talk BMW M2 manual sales. We're also going to talk about my thoughts and opinions on BMW a little bit, the M cars, and where I might go in the future. And I'm gonna hit on Porsche a little bit, just because obviously Porsche is in the back of my mind in terms of cars that I might want to own one day. So let's get this started. I don't anticipate this video being more than probably 5, 6, maybe 10 minutes max. But it's March 1st, it's 40 degrees in New York, in the New York area. The roads over here that I pulled up to so this way you don't have to see my driveway and some boring streets are actually more fun. And here, let me get this right here. I'm not gonna get on it too much, all right? I'll be honest with you, because I got my summer tires on and it's 40 degrees. So not exactly gonna get a lot of grip. Okay, so I saw that the M2 manual sales for the G87 was over half on BMW blog. I thought this was really interesting, and frankly, a great sign for the car enthusiasts and a bad sign for the future of the manual. What do I mean? Well, it's on record that, and I'll put a link in the article in my description, that a high executive at BMW confirmed that the manual will probably die with the G87, and that will end in production probably in 2029. So it sounds like, from BMW's perspective, they're not going to put any more dollars into developing a manual. And so any future M cars, which will probably be electric or hybrid, we already see that with the M5, it's disappointing, especially when demand is high. Look, I love manual cars. I know I'm driving a DCT. I've given my reasons for owning a DCT, and actually, if you want, I will shift now just for giggles. But anyway, what I was gonna say is that ultimately, it's interesting that enthusiasts, you know, still want the manual. I had a manual. My years of owning manuals combined is probably about 15 years, if I had to add it all up on all my cars. All right, so anyway, getting back to the news, right? Not me. So overall, I'd say BMW's probably doing what they're being ran partially, in my opinion, I could be wrong, by people that are making financial decisions over decisions that enthusiasts necessarily want, right? I mean, it's a tough world out there. We know that emissions requirements are getting stricter. We know that there's less and less car enthusiasts out there in some regards, and we know that it's tougher and tougher for them to get a car out there that is manual and genuinely fits the bill of a true car enthusiast. So here, and I'll actually put this up as a mode. All right, so anyway, so where does that take me? Well, it makes it interesting for guys like us who love BMW, right? Let's get into that part of the conversation. Where do you go, right? Especially if you're like me and you own an F80 or an E92 or an E90, and you're not sure what your next platform should be. Well, let me say first off that while the G87 looks are debatable, I think it definitely was a downgrade from the F87. I like it. I definitely like it more than other M cars like the M3 or M4. So ultimately, you're getting a bigger car. And if you go manual, you go with the carbon fiber roof, you're still around 3,700, 3,800 pounds. And I know you've heard me say this before. Look, the engineers these days have gotten a lot better at hiding weight of cars. But to a certain extent, no matter how much you hide it, you're gonna feel it at a certain point. And I don't know if you can really hide that completely. So I'd have to drive it some more to really tell you. I've never driven it on a track. All right, so you obviously have that as an option. You obviously have the other G series M cars, if that's your forte. And let's get into Porsche. So look, Porsche is interesting, no doubt about it. And I can't see any BMW guy not liking Porsche. But an interesting facet that I recently learned about, and I guess I kind of knew this, but it was confirmed by a video I saw on YouTube where a British car YouTube personality, I forgot his name, I should have looked it up, essentially tried to buy a GT3 RS new, and he had no history of buying cars with Porsche. And they basically told, every Porsche dealership told him he has to buy like 5, 7, 8, 9 cars before he can even get considered for that car. And I get it, it's supply and demand. You might have to pay the over as if you go used, and that's kind of crazy because they're like 100,000 over MSRP. So there's not many options, but that's why I'm going with, it gives me more respect for BMW, because I've driven some nice Porsches. I've driven a Porsche GT3 in manual, it was phenomenal. I've driven a GT4, that's on the channel actually. And all I will say is Porsche, hands down, is definitely the better experience for the most part. But given the price points and the availability of BMW and some of the uniqueness that I like of BMW, that's my brand now. Like, it always was my brand, but I mean, I'm just like out of the Porsche fantasy place because of the reality of how unobtainable Porsches have become, the high-end ones that would compete with this or that you would really want. So I don't know how you guys feel, but I just wanted to share some news that I found interesting about the M2 and you know, do a vlog, because it's been 6 months since I've driven my M on camera. And that's all I got. I mean, I'm gonna try to give this a quick rip because it looks like I'm getting a bit of an opening. But yeah, it's all I got for you guys today. So I want to thank you for joining me on my ride to lunch, and catch you soon in the next video. Thank you.